Espresso, espresso. Good evening. Welcome to the March 18th, 2026 special edition of Wednesday Edition. I'm Scott Leisure. It has been a beautiful week here in the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado, a place that I am extremely proud of, a place that holds a lot of deep roots with myself and with my family. I can't imagine growing up in a more beautiful and incredible place than Denver, Colorado was in the 70s and in the 80s. If you know, you know. The city and Colorado today, though, are far from those days. Sure, a lot of things are cooler, but there are also a lot of things that are very not cooler. This time of year, though, is one of my favorite times of the year here in Colorado. We have reclaimed our evening sunlight after our time traveling clock change ritual. The trees are budding, the grass is turning green, flowers are blooming, the cold, dark days of the past few months are behind us, and soon we will really start seeing some days with a lot of daylight. We all need vitamin D, right? If you're experiencing fatigue, bone or muscle pain, poor sleep, depression, maybe you're sick a lot, STDs. Okay, not STDs. But if you are experiencing any of those other symptoms, you might be lacking vitamin D. Now, only a blood test can tell you for sure. And remember, I'm not a doctor, but Dr. Leisure does sound pretty cool, doesn't it? As I was sitting doing some prep for this week's special edition of everybody's favorite weekly podcast, Wednesday edition, I was experiencing a little, I will call it artist block, writer's block, whatever. So I practiced a couple of things that we preach here on Wednesday edition. The biggest thing I did was to pause, close my eyes, and simply breathe. How many of you out there can honestly say that you take time throughout the day to do that? Throw it into the routine if you aren't already doing it, please. So, as my thoughts cleared after my pause, I thought to myself, hey, Scott, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get to do this today. Scott, what the fuck are you talking about? Let me take you behind the scenes for a second. I do a lot of the prep work for Wednesday edition over the weekend during my Scott time. As I mentioned many times, it brings me peace, it brings me serenity, it offers me an outlet for a lot of creative energies. It allows me to use my voice to bring information to people, maybe to bring some motivation to people, and maybe even help some people grow. It also allows me to use my voice and my social media as a place to express my views, my opinions, and my thoughts. It's a place I can enjoy my freedoms. Freedoms. Remember those? We talked some about freedom last week. So, yeah, the podcast and being able to give myself time to do some research and writing are things I get to do. Does anyone have any questions so far? There are a lot of situations, a lot of circumstances, and a lot of things in the world that don't always allow people to get to do some of the things that they want to do or should be doing. There also might be things that you should be doing that you haven't realized you need to be doing, things you haven't discovered yet. Whoa, Scott, slow down. Let me pause and process some of this deep thinking shit you're going on and on about. There are some people out there that are so wound up in themselves, their image, what kind of shoes they are wearing, and worrying about where they are being seen at, that they really never discover some of the things that they can be doing. There are also people out there that might be suffering with mental illnesses or addictions that are so trapped in their circumstances that they sometimes never get to discover parts of themselves that are sadly buried really deep. So, yeah, I get to do this thing today. I woke up with options and I woke up with opportunities. Everyone, do your good friend Scott Leisure a solid this week and take some time throughout your days to pause, breathe, and let your mind and your soul direct you to things in your world that you might have shut off, or maybe you never even discovered them. And once you do tap into some of those things, do me another favor and make them part of your life. Be consistent with adding them into your routine. Amen for breathing. Amen for discovery. And amen for vitamin D. I seem to say it every week. There's a lot of crazy, yucky shit going on in the world right now. We all know that. So there isn't a better or more vital time than now to practice pausing, practice breathing, and practice exercising some of your freedoms. And only you know what those are for you. We're still bombing in the Middle East. Israel is still bombing in the Middle East. Iran is still bombing in the Middle East. Gas prices have gone up. People are still shooting places up. No pedophiles have been arrested. Oh, and Nancy Guthrie is still missing. The media likes to use a lot of power phrases and words, don't they? War, scandal, accusations, under siege, under fire, exclusive, breaking, all there to hook you, right? To grab your attention, to draw you in. They are there to trigger emotional response, create urgency, and to build your trust. Heartwarming, life-changing, shocking, must see. You need to be awake to the times when the media is trying to sell you something, right? The media, oh my gosh, is not just delivering you the news. It's something that is a big part of Wednesday Edition. What do we preach here every week? Do some research, do some reading, grow your own thoughts. Sometimes when you open your thinking path and are able to look at something a little differently, it opens up an entirely new vision of whatever it is. Amen for independent thinking. Last week's Wednesday Edition approval rating slid again. Gas prices go up and the approval rating goes down. We dropped from like a 140 something 2 weeks ago to a 120 last week. It's okay, my friends. It's okay because we gave our best, right? And in that, we achieved true approval. Now, I want to take some time to let you know a little bit about Dollar 2.0. Did you say dollar as in cash dollar? Cash Friday is the day after tomorrow, 2 days from today. Do your part to keep the dollar alive. Stop by the ATM on Friday and grab some cash for the weekend to spend with an artist or a small business. The reason I emphasize using cash with these people is to help them. They simply don't have to pay anyone else when you use cash. It keeps them free of fees. Amen for cash. Dollar 2.0. So, Dollar 2.0 is a term used to describe the transition of the US financial system toward a new digital first and blockchain based architecture. It represents a tokenized and programmable version of the American dollar, designed to move faster and operate 24/7, unlike traditional banking systems, basically digital currency. It wants to take away the dollar. It's all crypto. If you get a chance this week, do your Wednesday edition due diligence and do some research and reading on stable coins. Do some reading and think about it next time you swipe your card, okay? Now it's time for a quick pause and some breathing. Let's clear our head and think about our freedoms and how we have the opportunity to get to do things today, right? Let's try to make this a consistent and disciplined practice, all right? Now, moving forward, if during one of those pauses you have a moment of clarity and discover something that you want to work on or work towards, you are going to learn ways to strengthen your discipline and consistency. That is, if you want to accomplish whatever it is. Maybe when you paused and closed your eyes, you decided that you were going to learn something new or start a new project. Maybe you had an epiphany. I don't know. You know, people are always starting and stopping exercise routines and eating routines. And the reason that they fail or don't get the results that they want is because they don't have a routine. And that leads to them becoming inconsistent. One thing I like to maintain routine and consistency with is Wednesday edition. During this week's special edition of Wednesday edition, we've touched on a lot of things: consistency, power phrases, crypto, the Middle East, and we even mentioned Nancy Guthrie. And now we've mentioned her twice. By the way, she is still missing. Help keep cash alive this week and Google these three things. Number one, Google the population growth of Colorado from 2000 through 2026. Google that number and say a prayer for John Denver, okay? Number two, Google stable coins. It's some really wild stuff, my friends. Just Google it and read, okay? Number three, Google breathing techniques, or even go a step further and Google tapping techniques. Remember, the price we pay for associating with the wrong people is enough reason for us to be stricter about who we keep in our circles, right? So if you're going to get in a crypto circle, be sure to get in the right crypto circle, I guess. Here we go. It's that time. The top 5 songs from March 18th, 1988. Michael Jordan scored 50 points in a victory over the Boston Celtics on March 18th, 1988. He also had 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals. Pretty good numbers. He was pretty good, wouldn't you say? He was a pretty consistent player, from what I remember. Okay, let's do this. The top 5 songs, March 18th, 1988. Number 5, Need You Tonight, INXS. INXS is a band that really doesn't have a bad song if you think about it. One for One. Number 4, Push It, Salt and Peppa. Push It. Push It really good. Ooh, baby, 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 baby. Ooh, baby, 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 baby. Get up on this. 2 for 2. It's Salt and Flippin' Peppa. Number 3, Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Michael Jackson. 3 for 3, right? Number 2, March 18th, 1988. I Get Weak. Belinda Carlisle, one of my favorite lead singers from one of my favorite bands. Amen for the Go-Go's. Even though I Get Weak is a really lame song, Belinda. Come on. I'm going to give you a pass. 4 for 4. And the number 1 song from March 18th, 1988, Never Gonna Give You Up, Rick Astley. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Well, hot damn. 5 for 5. The countdown rebounds from that shit show of a countdown last week and Debbie Gibson. Pause this week. Watch out for the hook phrases and practice some discipline. Cook a meal, get outside of your head, maybe do a little meditation, think outside of the box, drink your water, do the speed limit, don't eat plastics, and don't get trafficked. Wednesday edition. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m., only on YouTube and scottleisure.com. Subscribe to the YouTube and message me if you want a free t-shirt. Thank you again for being here. Thank you again for sharing my energies with me. And thank you again for pausing and thinking things through. Remain vigilant, remain safe, remain strong, and make it a wonderful week, okay? Thank you. Amen. And good night.